Hello everyone, I am Sujoy and this is my another CCNA tutorial. So today I will tell you how to do basic configuration on a Cisco switch in very easy language. So let's start. So Cisco switches are generally a plug and play type. That means you simply plug in a power cable to the switch and give the power to it and it will be operational for the first time. You don't need any additional configuration to be configured to make it operational for the first time. But if you need some advanced functionalities, then you need to do some configuration on the switch. That I will tell you how and why we do the configurations with detailed explanation on each configuration, why we do it and how we do it. So let's start. The first, to do it in real life, you need two things. Number one is a console cable and number two, a PC or a laptop. A PC is preferred because it's easy, but if you are using a laptop, then you also need a console cable driver and a console to USB adapter. So let me first give you how the console cable looks. So this is the console cable. It's an original Cisco console cable, so it's light blue in color. One end there is a thick 9-pin connector called DB9 connector, and on the other end there is a, as you can see, there is a RJ45 connector, a simple Ethernet connector. So this RJ45 connector will go to the back side of the switch. There is a small Ethernet female port written console in blue color. So in that port this connector will go, and the other end of the connector will go on the back of your PC or desktop in the communication port number 1. So if you are using the PC, it's very easy, simply connect the two ends and you are ready to work. But if you are using a laptop, then you need this kind of converter where you need to connect this converter to the console port and you have to connect the other end, the USB port, on the back of your laptop. But to make this adapter operable on your laptop, you need to install the appropriate driver for this. That's why I mentioned PC is easy to use. And you also need another thing, that is a terminal emulation software. So if you are using Windows XP, then the hyper terminal software is built in. But if you are using Windows 7 or higher version, then you need to use a third-party software. So I prefer the software called PuTTy, PuTTy. It's open source software and freely available on the internet. So this was the basic. Let's start the operation. So first we'll choose a PC and we'll take the console connection. So connect the one end of the console on the back of our PC on the RS232 port. RS232 means serial port, also called communication port number 1 on PC, and connect the other end to the switch on the console option. So the console connection is established. You are now ready to go. Now on your PC, in real life, you need to open the PuTTy and select serial as the communication option. But here, let's go to the desktop and go to the terminal. So here the terminal emulation software is built in. So let's click OK, and you are now presented with the console interface of the switch. Press enter. But here you can see it's asking for the username because I have set a username on the switch. So let's enter the username and the password. Sorry, it's wrong. And we are now presented with the switch hash prompt. This hash prompt is called the privilege mode, from where you can do lots of operations except the configuration. So first thing we need to do, erase the previous configuration, also called erase the startup configuration. For that, issue the command erase start and press the tab button. So the full command is erase startup config. Press enter and enter once again to confirm. So the startup configuration is deleted. Now first we need to configure the host name. Host name is the name of the switch. So to do any configuration, you have to go to the global configuration mode. For that, type config space T for terminal. And now it's changed to switch bracket config hash. This is called global configuration mode. So let's say enter a hostname Sujoy underscore switch. Press enter. It's changed to Sujoy underscore switch. Then config. The hostname is changed. Now we'll set the console password. It's needed so that anyone simply can't connect the console cable to the console port of your switch and see all your configuration. To prevent this, you need to set a console password. So for that, you need to go to the line space con space 0 and press enter. Now configuration is changed to config-line hash. Now set the password console and press enter. You can give any password. So after the password and space, you can give your own password. Now type the command login to enable the password. Next, we need to set the telnet password. Telnet is basically used for remote logging to the switch. I will show you how to do telnet, but first we need to set the telnet password. For that, type line space VTY space 0 space 4. In some switches, you can go up to 0 space 15. So, and now type the password. Let's say is telnet. Enter. Type logging to enable the password. So we have set the telnet password, but we also need to set an IP address on the switch to be able to telnet to. Generally, switches don't need an IP address to operate, but if you want to access the switch from remote, then you need to set a password, IP address. So let's enter the management IP. For that, type interface space VLAN space 1. This is a default VLAN and press enter. So as you can see, the prompt changed from config-line to config-if, where if stands for interface. So VLAN 1 interface is the default interface, which is called the management VLAN. Now set the IP address. So type IP space address space 192.168.1.5. This is the IP I want to assign. Space the subnet mask for the IP. So this is the class C IP. So the subnet mask will be 255.255.255.0. Press enter. IP address is set. Now after setting the IP, you need to give the command no shut down to make the interface VLAN up. Press enter. As you can see, line protocol up on interface VLAN is changed to up. Now you should be able to log in to the switch from any PC or any device in the local LAN. So let's open this PC, go to the desktop, go to the command prompt, type telnet 192.168.1.5 and voila, it's asking for the password. So we are now able to telnet. So enter the telnet password, which we know is telnet, and now we are presented to the switch greater than prompt, but it's not the switch has prompt. That means we are not in privilege mode, we can't do anything. So go to the enable mode, type enable, press enter, but it's showing no password set. So we need to set the enable password. So go to the config mode, type enable password enable, and let's try once again from the remote login. Enable, it's asking for the password, type enable, and we are now presented to the hash prompt. So we are now able to telnet to the switch. Now I will tell you how to set a username and password or default username password on the switch. So from telnet session we can do it. Config space t, username, let's say Sujoy, space password Sujoy1. Okay. So if anyone wants to log into the switch, it will ask for the username and password. So from up to this point, we can telnet to the switch from any PC or any laptop in the local LAN. But what if you want to access your switch from a remote LAN? within the network. For example, you generally sit in this office, you can access any of the devices in the local LAN, but someday you are on the remote network, you are in other office of your company and you want to access to the switch. Let's try if we can do it. So from the another PC, telnet 192.168.1.5 is trying, but it's failed. So to set the default gateway, from the global configuration mode, type IP default gateway 192.168.1.1. This IP is the IP address of this router interface which is directly connected to the switch. So here this is the switch, and this interface fast Ethernet 0 of the router is directly connected to the switch. This is called the LAN port or LAN I interface of the router. So we know the IP for this interface is 192.168.1.1. So let's enter it as a default gateway. And now we should be able to access the switch from the remote network. Voila, we are now able. So let's type the password telnet. We are now presented with the greater than prompt. Type enable. Again type the enable password. It's enable. And we are now presented to the hash prompt. So right now this switch is connected or accessible from this console session, this telnet session from local LAN, and telnet session from this remote LAN. Isn't it cool? Now one final and very important thing, that is, after all your configuration is done, go to the hash prompt and type the command write and press enter. This command basically saves all your configuration you have done till now. If you don't issue this command and if you restart or power cycle your switch, then all your configuration will be deleted. That is very painful. So after doing any configuration in the switch, just issue the command write from the hash prompt. So that's it for now. How was the video? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and share the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more CCNA tutorials. So thanks for watching. See you in my next video, and still then stay connected.